Okay, good morning everyone in Chazak. Baruch, thank you for joining us on this beautiful Friday morning, Erev Shabbat Kodesh, as we just started saying last night, Barech Aleinu in the Amidah. Hashem should bless us all with amazing blessings of peace of mind, happiness, clarity, wisdom, simha, to be able to bring light into the world that we live in, into the darkness, with the Chanukah coming up, Ezrat Hashem. Amen. Okay, I want to share with you today, my friends, a beautiful idea from Rabbi Zweig. I got this beautiful sefer from students of mine. They got me a gift. It's from Parasha ideas on the book of Bereshit from Rabbi Yochanan Zweig. Rabbi Yochanan Zweig is a big scholar, amazing thinker from Miami. And so anyways, they put out this book over here, Infinity Torah. I have only seen it on Bereshit. If anyone knows Rabbi Zweig, can ask him for me, when will Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, and Devarim come out? I would really appreciate it, because it's just really fascinating stuff in his commentary here for Perashat Vayishlach. But be it as it may, let us jump right in and try to see one idea from today's lesson. The pasuk says, as Yaakov Avinu is approaching his brother, and they're about to clash after 22 long years that Eisav is waiting to get revenge for Yaakov taking the blessings from him. The pasuk says, "Vayira Yaakov me'od vayetzer lo." Yaakov was afraid and he was distressed. Rashi says, what is the double expression? He was afraid and he was distressed. Rashi, look at what Rashi writes. Vayira Shema Yaharog, Shema Yehareg. He was afraid he'll get killed. Vayetzer lo im yaharoghu et achirim. And he was distressed if he were to kill others. So over here Rashi says something very interesting, quoting the Midrash, that Yaakov is afraid that he'll get killed, and he's worried that he may kill someone else. And the Maharsha asks on this obvious question. We know that halachically, habba lehorgecha hashkem lehorgo. If someone's coming to kill you, you have a obligation, a mitzvah of self-defense. A mitzvah of self-defense. You're not supposed to be nice, let them kill you, it's okay. No. Don't be dumb. Pull out your gun, get your weapon, do what you need to, protect yourself. Self-defense, most important thing. You're allowed to kill someone. Habba lehorgecha hashkem lehorgo. You're allowed to kill the person who's trying to kill you. So wouldn't that apply to Yaakov Avinu? Yaakov Avinu is over here about to get killed. His brother's coming to him. He's not picking this fight. His brother's coming towards him. So his brother's coming to kill him. So what's the halacha? You tell me. Habba lehorgecha hashkem lehorgo. If someone's coming to kill you, you're allowed to get up and kill them. So why is Yaakov Avinu over here afraid that he may kill? This is the question asked by the Maharsha. There are a few answers that are given throughout the commentaries. Maybe he wasn't afraid of actually killing. He was afraid that his father may curse him if he found out that he killed his brother. Some say that there's only allowed to kill if you can't injure. Here Yaakov was worried, maybe I could injure him and I'll kill him without going through alternate routes of saving myself. Be it as it may, this is a question that's raised, and Rabbi Zweig is going to give today, God willing, a beautiful idea, an answer to this question. Before we answer the question, let us continue in the Parasha. We read the episode of the kidnapping, the rape of Dinah. Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, she was kidnapped by Shechem, and he does what he does with her. And the next morning he comes for her hand in marriage. Of course, the brothers are furious, and they make this ruse, this plan. They tell Shechem, if you want to marry our sister, then you have to circumcise you and everyone in your city. Only then could we even talk. For some reason, Shechem accepted it, he bought it, and he convinced everyone in his city, the whole town, to circumcise. And on the third day, the pasuk says, Shimon and Levi come and they grab their swords and they kill every man in the city. This week's parasha. Yaakov Avinu says to his sons, Vayomer Yaakov el Shimon ve Levi, Achartem oti, you have made me unsettled. Lehavisheni beyeshev haaretz. You are causing the people over here to retaliate, maybe. You're putting us over here, you're not giving us good PR. Why'd you do that? Yaakov's rebuke seems to be seemingly purely from retaliation standpoint. It sounds like Yaakov is okay intrinsically, inherently with what they did, that they killed a whole town. He doesn't mention anything about that. He doesn't say, why'd you kill people? Yaakov's fine with the fact that they just killed, who knows how many people. Hundreds, thousands, it doesn't say, I think. But point is, Yaakov doesn't mention it. There's nothing wrong with killing. He only says, why'd you do that? It puts us in danger. You shouldn't have done that. Now we're going to be odious. We're going to have a stench. We're going to be those Jews. They're dangerous. People are going to now notice us. We should have been low-key. What about the fact that you just killed thousands of people? Yaakov doesn't talk about that to his sons over here. Doesn't mention anything. Now, halachically speaking, there is a lot of commentary, questions. How were they allowed to do this? Was this halachically allowed? Already the Rambam, Maimonides, talks about it. And he says that halachically what Shimon and Levi did was nothing wrong. The people were guilty. They were hayav mitah anyways. What were they hayav mitah for? Different opinions. Some say they were chayav mitah for not, you ready? One of the 7 Noahide laws is setting up court system, a judicial system. And the people failed to judge Shechem for what he has done to Dinah. They didn't judge him. They didn't set up a trial against him. So they are guilty for not setting up that trial. So they're chayav mitah anyways. Be it as it may, Yaakov Avinu doesn't mention anything about murder. And yet, at the end of his life, when he's blessing his children, he gets to his sons Shimon and Levi, number 2 and 3. And he says, instead of blessing them, he says, Besodam al tavo nafshi bekalam atehad kebodi ki be'apam hargu ish ubertzoneam kerushor. Yaakov Avinu, he basically says that in their anger they killed a man. And he accuses his sons. Now, who knows how many years later, you can do the math. But now he accuses his sons, decades later, of murder, of killing a man. So the obvious question is, why is it mentioned here that they killed? And earlier when he rebukes them, he doesn't really talk about them killing. Seems like he only has a problem with it now. You should just know that in history, there was a time where there was the Greco-Egyptian king, King Ptolemy. The Gemara says that he sat 70 sages in 70 different rooms and he forced them to translate the Gemara, the Torah, Gemara Masechet Megillah, page 9, look at this Gemara. Ma'aseh betamai al-melech. Story once with the King Ptolemy. Shekines 72 zekenim. He gathered 72 elders. Hichnisan be-72 batim. Into 72 houses, rooms. Ve'lo gila lahem amar kinsan. He didn't tell them why he's gathering them. This was a surprise pop quiz. V'nichnas etzel kol echad ve'echad, and then he secretly went into each room. Ve'amar lahem, and he said to all 72 sages, Ketvu li Torah Moshe Rabchem. Translate your Torah into my language. Now, there are certain things that if you translate them could could arouse questions. The rabbis, miraculously, they all made the same corrections to the translation without being in cahoots with each other. They were able to translate properly the Torah, and the Gemara says they made a few changes. One of the changes is this pasuk. Ki be'apam hargu ish. Pasuk says that they killed a man. Our rabbis said, we don't want to write that in English or whatever language they were translating to. Because then the king is going to see that these two tribes, Shimon and Levi, they killed an innocent guy. It's not going to look good for us. If Levi, especially Levi, by the way, who is the father of Kohanim, if he killed, he killed a man. So what did they do? They retranslated it. That Be'apam Hargu Shor. They killed the ox. Okay? They went ox hunting. That's all. They went ox hunting. They mistranslated the Torah. On purpose. And the miracle is that all 12 of them did it simultaneously. All 12 of them did it simultaneously. All rabbis, however many it was. All 72 of them. They translated all of the psukim, all the corrections simultaneously. I mean, it's a crazy miracle. Either way, you see from here, what is my point from all of this? That the rabbis themselves, they viewed this as a problem. That we're going to have a king think that we killed, Shimon and Levi killed a human. So, this all is again part of the questions of today's class. How could it be that Shimon and Levi, Yaakov is rebuking them in the beginning, not for killing, then later he does rebuke them for killing? And why is Yaakov afraid of killing? Why is he afraid of killing his brother? Nothing wrong with killing. All of these questions, says Rabbi Zweig, really could be answered with a fascinating insight into the essence of what it means to be a Jew. What does it mean to be a Jew? What is expected of a Jewish person? What is the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew? We're both moral. We both have conduct, etiquette, ethics. What is the difference intrinsically between a Jew and a non-Jew? When Hashem went to the Goyim and said, do you want the Torah? And the Goyim said, well, what does it mean to be a Jew? What does Torah mean? God said he can't kill. They couldn't kill anyways. Even as a non-Jew, you can't kill. What is the difference if you're going to be a non-Jewish, can't kill, and a Jew you can't kill? Both of them you can't kill. But the answer is, it's not the same. When you become a Jew, there's something different now. As a non-Jew, all matters is the actions. All that matters is the deed. Can't kill. Can't kill. For a goy, there's no requirement to have proper motives. There's no requirement to transform intrinsically. There's no requirement to be emotional. A non-Jew is judged purely on what they do. But as a Jew, there is a whole other field of view. As a Jew now, we're obligated to have proper kavanah. A Jew has to remain emotional. A Jew has to internalize. That's the dimension of a Jew. That is really the etzem, the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew. Externally, we both may do and look the same. It's about the inside. For a Jew, it's not enough to do something. It matters why you did it. What was your kavanah? It's not enough that you don't kill on the outside. Maybe that's enough if you're a goy. You can't kill. But if you're going to become a Jew, if you're going to accept the Torah, now you got to also make sure that inside you're not a murderer. And there's a difference. Sometimes we could not kill externally, but deep down we're still killers. Sometimes externally we don't steal, but inside we're still thieves, we're still takers. We still would if we could. For a Jew to accept the Torah now, to be a Jew means you got to be empathetic. It means you're doing things for the right reason. As an example, there's a famous Gemara, two great rabbis, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, and they were arguing about the Roman government. Rabbi Yehuda said, look at this Roman government. God bless. They make bridges. They make marketplaces. They have for us bathhouses. They're great. That's what Rabbi Yehuda said. Rabbi Shimon said, they make the bathhouses for their own pleasure. They make marketplaces to set up prostitution. They make bridges to collect tolls, taxes. What's the mahloket over here? They're both right. Which one? What are they arguing on? But they're arguing on this idea. Rabbi Shimon saying, what does it matter that they made a bridge? Look why they did it. That's a problem. You're doing it for the wrong reason. Rabbi Yehuda says, yeah, but for a goy, that's fine. At the end of the day, you did good. I don't care why you did it. Kavanah doesn't really matter with a non-Jew, with a Roman. That's kind of like the argument that they're really discussing. So as an example, capital punishment. Somebody's guilty, an accused. Why do we kill him? What should be the motive? The reason we kill somebody should never be out of vengeance, God forbid. The reason we kill someone who is a murderer shouldn't be to give closure to the family. It shouldn't be out of revenge, out of anger. The reason we kill a person, firstly, is to keep society safe. But even more, in a way, it's to provide a kapara for this person's soul. The murderer, his soul, it's a kapara for his soul. But it should never be out of anger. Compare this to the act of Pinhas when he went to go kill Zimri ben Salu. The halakha is that you're supposed to kill him. But Moshe Rabbeinu didn't kill him. Aharon HaKohen didn't kill him. Pinhas, why? Why did Pinhas do it? Why didn't... Aharon was dead. Why not Elazar? Why Pinhas? Pinhas, Moshe couldn't kill Zimri. You know why? Because Moshe had a personal score to settle with Zimri. Zimri embarrassed Moshe just a few minutes before. Zimri grabs Cosby, if you remember, and he says, hey, Moshe, can I marry her? Moshe says, no, you can't. Why? She's Midianite. Isn't Tzipora Midianite? Oh. Right, so everyone, Moshe was a little embarrassed of here. And Moshe was worried if I kill Zimri, maybe it's not purely for his own good, for Hashem's honor. Maybe it's a little bit for my honor. And if I did that, it would be considered a murder. I wouldn't be considered a hero. I'd be a villain. You could go the same act for a Jew. You kill a guy who's guilty. But if you kill him for the wrong reason, you're a villain. Moshe Rabbeinu knew he couldn't do it. So taking this into account, coming back to Shimon and Levi, we now understand the problem is not so much in what they did. What they did maybe was fine. Legally, in court, wiping out a city, they're chayav mitah, they're guilty anyways. Yaakov yells at them not for what they did, but for why they did it. What was their kavanah? What was their motive? What should be the reason to kill the city? Is because they're guilty. To preserve society. That's not why Shimon and Levi did it. Shimon and Levi were very clear why they did it. They did it because their sister was part of it. It was our sister. It was personal. And we have to be very, very careful in life that we don't make things personal. We don't make things personal. And very often we put ourselves, we have a bias, we have an agenda. In therapy, it's very important when you're guiding somebody to keep yourself detached, not to allow your personal bias to cloud your judgment. When you're giving advice to someone, if you're nogeya, to say maybe this is the advice I'm giving them, but we have to really constantly be honest and check ourselves. What are my motives? Why did I do what I did? Why did I say what I say? Why did I give that advice? Ya'atznu etzot ra'ot, we say, I gave bad advice, because sometimes the advice that we give is clouded by our judgment, by our own bias. We have something personal against that person, against that community. And so we give advice, but we're not impartial. We have skin in the game. That's why it's very hard to give therapy to family. Family, it's too close for comfort. We care. We get too aggravated. We get too sensitive. We want them to be a certain way. Our name, our reputation, whatever it may be. Shimon and Levi, the problem isn't what they did. It's why they did it. It's our sister. So it's personal. You never allow personal to get in the way. You have to remain completely objective, completely detached. When a person is doing something, they have to do it for the right reason. At least for a Jew. Even murder, even a murderer, even someone who's guilty, you're about to execute him. Torah says, give him a drink. If he wants, give him alcohol. Allow him to escape. Allow him to not need to feel the pain, the shame, the embarrassment. Remain sensitive even to a murderer. In secular court, by the way, they don't always honor these requests of someone who's about to receive execution. Person is given a meal, but it's, in Florida, it's $40 capped. And they don't give drugs, they don't give alcohol, they're denied the last meal. But in the Torah, you give the guy wine. היוצא להרג משכין אותו קורט של לבונה בכוס של יין כדי שתתערב דעתו. We want to preserve the dignity. The person being sentenced, we're giving, before his execution, we're still sensitive to him. He could drink wine if he wants to detach from the proceedings. Look how far we have to go. We're talking about a murderer. We're not talking about a tzaddik. We're talking about a guy who ruined someone's life. He ruined someone's life at the end of the day. But still, there's still room for empathy. You can still hold, two things can be true at once. He's wrong, and we should still remain empathetic. This is very hard, very hard. Again, when you're counseling someone, and they're coming to you for advice, and you're like, what in the world right? You think this guy's out of their mind. They have a certain problem, whatever the problem is. But they're still a human being. And we have to still treat them with respect. And maybe if the person needs to be removed from society, maybe something needs to be done, but it should never be personal. It should never be out of anger. Sometimes we need to punish our children. Our children deserve a punishment. It should never be out of anger. Why am I punishing my kid? Because I want to teach him a lesson. Because I want him to be a functioning, successful human being. He needs to learn this value. It's not because what he did to me, you embarrassed me, what you do to the family, you ruined the dinner, I worked so hard, what do you have? Not about you. It's about the kid. It's about teaching him a lesson. Don't make it about you. Don't make it about emotional. It has to be purely lishma, purely altruistic, remaining for the benefit. The kavanah has to be there. This explains, now this answers our first question. Yaakov Avinu, he's very afraid. Why is he afraid? He's afraid he'll get killed. And he's distressed that maybe he will kill. But why? You're allowed to kill. The answer is, yeah, I'm allowed to kill. But why am I killing? Maybe there's a part of me that just wants my brother gone once and for all. Enough with this. Hajj. If that's why I killed him, then I'm guilty. Then I'm a murderer. If it's out of anger, if it's something personal that I have a score with him, I just want him out of my life. We do find, just to fast forward a little bit, Yaakov Avinu, to rewind, when he meets Eisav, rewind, fast forward, whatever you were up to. When he meets Eisav, the Rashi asks, Vedina hechan haita? It says that he stood there with his 11 children. Where's his daughter? Where's Dinah? Dinah's in the box. He hid her, and Eisav shouldn't see her. And our rabbis actually criticize Yaakov for this. Our rabbis say that if she would have married Eisav, she may have actually turned him for the good. And because Yaakov didn't give his brother that chance, Yaakov is punished. And Dinah ends up getting taken. That was his punishment for hiding her from Eisav. Now this obviously leads to a very big problem, because we know that Yaakov didn't do anything wrong by blocking Dinah. You're supposed to protect your daughter, especially from a guy like Eisav, a murderer. Were you supposed to let him? By the way, Dinah's mother, Leah, was supposed to marry Eisav, and she cried, and the pasuk praises her. Ve'enei Leah rakot. She had soft eyes. She was crying so much not to marry Eisav, and she was rewarded by marrying Yaakov instead. So you see that Leah didn't want to marry Eisav. So you expect her daughter Dinah to want to marry Eisav? Yaakov should want to let Dinah marry Eisav? What in the world's going on over here? Elamai, what's the answer? The answer is that there's nothing wrong with hiding her from Eisav. It's all about what's your kavanah, what's your intention, what's going on deep down. Yaakov, hide her. But where are you emotionally right here? Are you doing it with a smile? Yes. Get rid of my brother. Get him out of my life. Yaakov's problem wasn't that he hid her, but it's that he wasn't crying as he did so. It should have hurt him. He should have been pained. He should have been a little bit sad. I wish I didn't have to do this. I have no choice because I have to protect my daughter. But a little bit Yaakov on his level was a little bit happy with his decision because there was something personal here with his brother. Something personal here that he had. And in life, sometimes we're forced to act in a certain way. We have to always stay compassionate. You're punishing your child. You have to shush someone in shul. How much of that is personal? How much of that is biased? You're saying something to someone. You're giving someone advice. Are you completely objective here? Our kavanah matters very much in Judaism. Kavanah matters very much. We have to constantly always be on the lookout, checking and rechecking for our conscious, our subconscious, our unconscious. Is there something here driving me? What are my motives? Are they pure motives? Motives are very important. And so Yaakov's angry at Shimon and Levi not because of what they did, because of their motives. And he's he's worried about himself, not because of what he may do and kill, but because why he may kill. And he's punished for blocking his daughter Dinah in a box because of why he did it. And so the why, the motive, the engine of why we do what we do has to constantly be something that we assess and we reevaluate. We'll stop over here, wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom, and hopefully we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.